Howdy, howdy.
Oh, no.
Welcome on into the pre-show before the free show. Well, let's see.
We all right?
Yeah, I think we've got... I just don't think my headphones are working because
I forgot to plug in the lights.
Mallory didn't...
We are flying by the seat of our pants here, folks. Hello, everybody. Welcome into the pre-show before the free show. I'm your friend, Greg. That is also your friend, Greg. And that's your friend, Ashley, who is presently...
there we go.
Who's presently fits in a fuddling with the machines. That's one of the problems with coaching school, is that we have to tear down this entire studio and move it however many thousand miles down to Houston. It's like, what, 8,000 miles to Houston?
You know what? It seemed not as far back. Man, we were playing a good roadie game.
Oh, yeah?
Yesterday on the way back.
So in the car, I
Yeah,
drove
it
by
was a
myself because we got kids and stuff. But I didn't take my kids, but like I use that as an excuse for everything.
Right.
But it was you, WTF,
Yep.
and Carter Yates, correct?
Yes.
Was the foursome in the car.
Braylon.
Braylon. And so what was the car game in your car?
So we did this on our last few vacations as a family, is that you pull up your favorite music app.
Mm-hmm.
One person starts off with one song. They pass it to the next person who puts a song in queue, who passes it to the next person. And you continue to put songs in the queue, playing off like what you've heard before. What direction does that like tip you towards or influence your next song selection?
Mm-hmm.
So you can go down some...
You kind of get down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, you're down a rabbit hole in some of these musicians and some of the songs and what era is it from and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I think from like the time that we hit the highway in Houston all the way until the time we took the exit here in Louisville that we were dedicated to queuing up songs and playing
Okay.
the game
And
the
it
whole
was
way through.
It was a blast because then you get, like, it made the trip go by quicker.
Yeah.
Because you're, like, excited about what the next person's playing, and then you think of something else. So, like, your mind's not on the fact that you're sitting there driving for 4 hours.
You also learn stuff about your coworkers.
Yes, you
Yeah.
do. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
What'd you learn about Carter?
His music selections were very diverse. He knew some songs that I hadn't heard before that I enjoyed.
Okay.
He was probably out of the group. He was the one who would tend to push us like in a new direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
More often than not. So I guess that talks about, like his independence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? His independent thinking. Not to just like fall in line with what everybody else is
Yeah.
doing to try to create something new.
Understood.
Yeah, and I think the cool thing is when he would, if someone would play a song that he didn't know, then he was like, "Oh, well, I'm going to introduce y'all to a new artist because I didn't know that
Oh,
last
it's like
one."
a challenge.
So
Right.
yeah, and it was good. It was so much fun.
Okay. Good job. I listen to murder podcasts, so that's what I did. That's what I did. I listened to the New Texas Monthly.
A little more drab in the Tepper
Yeah.
ride than for sure.
The New Texas Monthly podcast, Stephenville's really good. So you should listen to that. It's about a murder in Stephenville from way back when.
I was introduced to some. I don't know if I was introduced to any new 21 Savage.
No, that's usually a
Songs.
Mallory joint for you.
She's 21 Savage or Congos. Those
She-
are her two.
She really likes Yellow Wolf. We listened
Uh-huh.
to a couple different Yellow Wolf songs.
I thought that was pretty good because I'm not usually into newer rap,
Modern hip hop, yeah.
modern hip hop.
we saw Yellow
but
Wolf in
s-
concert like 2 weeks ago.
Oh wow.
Listening to some of the songs that people consider quality
Yeah.
changed my outlook on it a little bit.
That's what I need. What I've figured out is my place in the music landscape is I'm not going to sift through stuff.
Right.
I need you to bring me the stuff that has already been quality checked. You know what I mean? And so that's why I like when friends recommend things to me because it's like, oh, great. You have gone through. I trust your opinion. I trust what you're doing. They can come in. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can just be quiet. It's fine. No, we're stopping down the show and making sure we know that our friends from Ellen Road are walking in. Anyway,
So
but
for
that's what I don't want to sift through all these new albums. I want somebody to do the quality checking for me, and then me get the benefits of your work. I want to be as lazy as possible. Is what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
this all checks out.
For the win,
Scans.
okay. I have the history
Oh,
in my music app of this, and now I can go through and add the songs that that I enjoyed that everybody played,
That's
and
good
add them
stuff.
now to my playlist.
Could I challenge you to find a way to make that available to me?
Like a playlist.
Like a
like
playlist?
a playlist?
See,
I can
well,
try,
we
but
did it-
I doubt your own title.
I'm not on. No, I'm not on Tidal.
I think you can
What kind
share
of
to other
monsters
titles.
on Tidal.
Only I that I've ever spoken
Are you
with.
the only person?
Only I.
Do you
Yeah.
know anyone else who's on Tidal?
No, I didn't. I mean,
I'm a
the
Spotify guy.
the interface was the most similar to Spotify that I had seen.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, I'll try.
Okay. Please
Maybe
do.
I'll write.
Just write down.
Put them in a letter and mail it to
Feel
them.
like it was Yellow Wolf singing. God
whatever
knows
he
what,
was
I don't know.
singing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to guess.
Yeah, I don't want to guess.
I don't want to guess
either.
on air.
Yeah, it feels like that's probably words I can't say. Hit the theme, Expo. Pickle. Hit the air sign. Yes, y'all. It's first day back at school for everybody. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Louisville, Texas, it's Texas Football Today, a show that's slowly putting together its studio back together, like not 80% of the way there. My name's Greg Tupper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, a magazine, TexasFootball.com, a corresponding website. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Whether you're watching us live, TexasFootball.com, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all of the platforms, or you'll still listen to the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part. Support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good, She is the Duchess of the Dorks. They call her Miss 305, Miss 915, Miss 956. She's Ashley Pickle.
Howdy, friends.
Hi. You doing
Hi.
okay?
I'm breathing. Well, no, actually,
I was gonna say,
actually, I'm not
somewhat.
breathing very well.
Yeah, fact check, no.
Yeah, actually, I didn't
Yeah.
mean to lie to the people,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I'm here.
Is it just exhaustion from coaching school?
No, I think it's like a sinus infection, but we're
Rad.
here. Yeah, cool.
Super cool.
Super fun.
Having a great time. And sitting to my right, he's the director of recruiting for Dave Campbell's Texas Football. It's our friend, the top-ranked Greg in the office.
Correct.
Greg Powers.
That
What's up,
might be
y'all?
the most true statement you've ever said.
Listen, I'm a brave.
Coming with the facts.
I'm a brave truth teller, is what I am. Today is Wednesday, right? Oh man,
This is the most
this is
Monday feeling
a
Wednesday.
troubling question. Today is Wednesday, July 19th, 2020. 327 days until Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to Benedict Cumberbatch. Do you want to take a run at how old you think Benedict Cumberbatch is?
55.
55. Wow.
I don't want to guess.
He's 47.
47.
Oh, yeah, I would have thought he was in his 50s. 55 might have been high, but it seemed reasonable because it was right in the middle. I would not have said 47.
Here's a broad and unfair statement. Every British person looks old. Every British person.
Okay.
Name a young British person. You can't. Harry Styles looks 160.
You're fabricating.
No, just telling the truth.
I don't know. I thought the Queen did pretty good. The Queen did great.
Wow. Well,
That's a statement for
all right.
cutting.
Well, okay.
Out of
Prince
context.
Charles looks old. Prince Charles, or I'm sorry, King Charles, I guess now. He
He-
looks like 1,000,000 years old.
Yeah, yes.
That's what I'm saying. Every British person looks old.
I
Except for
wouldn't.
the Queen.
Yeah.
Eh.
That's why we fought for our
I feel like
independence.
she just looked old for so long that it made it not seem like she was
you think
getting
it's like
any
Steve Martin
older.
disease?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like if you start looking really
Yeah.
old by the time you're 55,
Yes.
then by the time you're 75 and you don't look any older, then
Yeah.
it's like, oh, she aged pretty well.
That's a great point. Steve Martin has looked 80 since he was 38.
Yeah, you just need to get old quickly,
now
and
you're
then
just
everyone's
man, he's
like,
holding
man,
up great and playing the banjo.
yeah.
Good for him. It's episode 1617. On today's show, folks, we got This Week in Recruiting with our friend Greg Powers, our recruiting analyst here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. And then back half of the show, we're going to talk a little bit about what we've done the last couple of days at the THSCA Coaching School and Convention, a little bit of a recap of our week down in Houston. So we will have that coming up here at the back half of the program. Do we have first four through the door, Mademoiselle?
We sure do. It was Zill 0678, Tanner Solis, Ed McElroy, and a new one. Tepper better quit looking at us like that. Welcome in, friends. I think this is the same Snow White dwarf friend that we have.
Better stop looking at us like that.
It's big you people
It's got to
energy.
be something that you can dial in on, not us, right?
have
Like
no
that's
idea.
very specific.
No idea. I don't know how I look at people. I only view the world
Not
through
well, apparently.
I only view the world through my own eyes. Anyway, let's get into this. I'm Greg Tepper. That's Greg Powers. This is This Week in Cruton.
He had that one dialed up.
I was not prepared for that.
I wasn't going to cheat the fans just because we've been in coaching school.
It was This Week in Recruiting.
My voice would have actually given out. No
Golly.
more.
With our friend Greg Powers, Director of Recruiting here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScout.
That was legendary.
And see his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. And of course, this segment is brought to you by our good chicken friends at Chicken Express. Chicken Express, delicious. Like, what more can you say?
We did verify
Oh, yeah?
on our trip down there. The Chicken Express, the one that we've noted that is the
Oh,
Houston
yeah.
location
Yes.
to stop at.
Yep.
Is just north of Huntsville. I would think that it.
I
has
think
a-
it's in
a
Huntsville.
It's in
address.
Huntsville.
Yeah.
But just north of all like the major Huntsville exits
Which
is
is-
a legendary Chicken Express location.
Which is perfect because it's literally like the first thing you see after a lot of just barren 45.
Okay, so is this pre-Sam Houston statue? I'm going
Yeah,
south.
Pre-Sam
Houston
if you're heading
statue?
south, you're gonna come right up
Yeah,
on it.
'cause
If
the
you're
Sam
coming
Houston
the other way,
statue
you
is
need
the
to
south
pass
end.
Sam.
Yeah, the Sam Houston statue is the south end of
Correct.
Huntsville. It's past the federal penitentiary.
Thanks
Yes.
to the Huntsville Chicken Express crew for fulfilling all of our chicken tendy needs.
Love you, Chicken Express. Mwah. So this week in recruiting with Greg Powers, our recruiting analyst here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Let's start with our prospect on the rise. Our prospect on the rise, we're going to go to Mesquite Horn to talk about their soon-to-be senior wide receiver, Cedric Lott Jr., who committed to Boston College had offers in-state from places like Texas State, UTSA, and North Texas, but an ACC offer was too much to pass up for Mesquite Horn wide receiver Cedric Lott. This is interesting because I'm checking my notes here. You know, he doesn't have a ton of varsity stats here. In fact, I'm seeing 0 receptions, 0 yards, 0 touchdowns. In fact, 0 snaps at the varsity level.
Yeah, a guy who they've taken from the hardwood, turned into an elite wide receiver. I think, you know, he's got double-digit offers based upon his camp performances and his ability to showcase that skill set in the camp setting. This is a guy who I think has as high a upside in 2023, his senior season of football, as anybody in the country. I love that it also speaks to the depth of the wide receiver position in the state of Texas, because this commitment at the end of June was made possible because Lake Dallas wide receiver Keondae Henry decommitted from Boston College. And they didn't have to go to Florida. They didn't have to go to Georgia. They didn't have to go to PA or Ohio. Guess what? They dipped back into Texas to get another wide receiver. It just speaks to the depth that we have here. There's a lot of talented wide receivers. So if you're one of these schools up in the Northeast or Midwest, we still have talent available here that you can come and get, and Cedric Lott Jr. is a prime example of that. I can't wait to watch him play. He's like one of the must-sees this year on the high school football scene. It's just weird to not be able to talk about a guy that doesn't have film, you know, to watch. So to paint a little bit of a picture, he's one of these guys who can stretch the field vertically. He has extremely long arms, can go up and high point the football, great catch radius, and can pull it down. And I have some sources that are within these training sessions, right? These training sessions that go on every weekend or, you know, throughout the week as we lead up to the season. One of my most trusted sources, someone who I feel like you can take their evaluations to the bank, said put him up with the Bryant Wescos of the world.
Oh, that's big.
Really?
They said side by side at this training session, these guys match each other. So this is something for Mesquite Horn fans to be excited about, Boston College fans to be excited about, but they're going to have to fight for this commitment if this kid is that good.
Yeah, because you get the feeling that once he gets some actual, I'd say like actual tape, but like some actual tape.
Right.
It's going to spread pretty quickly, and the secret's going to get out. But for now, Boston College with a big commitment from Mesquite Horn wide receiver Cedric Lott Jr. Let's roll on to our commit of the week. Our commit of the week, and I do mean roll on to our commit of the week. Refugio 2024 wide receiver Ernest Campbell has committed to Texas A&M. There's just no two ways about it. This is the fastest man in the state.
Yep.
That's not up for debate. He is a wide receiver there at Refugio. They give him the ball in a variety of different ways. He commits to Texas A&M. He had offers from all over, Penn State, Oregon, TCU, Baylor, Florida State. The Aggies haul him in in the 200 meters at State, right?
Yep.
In the the 2A 100 meter dash, he ran a 10.22. Okay? A 10.22. Let me put it to you this way, because I looked this up. If he were in the first heat at the 2021 or 2020, well, it was 2020, now 2021 Tokyo Olympics, he would have come in 5th place.
Wow.
At an Olympic heat, like an Olympic heat in the 100 meters.
As a 17-year-old?
As a 17-year-old. Ernest Campbell is a freak show, and he's going to College Station, and they're going to find some fun things to do with him.
He also took home gold in the 200 meter with a 20.92. So sub 2100 200 meter time is also blistering. This is a guy who I feel like can be very valuable within the Texas A&M offensive scheme because he's a specialist, right? He's a speed demon. You're going to be able to find unique and interesting ways to get him the football. Is he the guy that's going to get and catch every single pass and probably be your receptions leader? I'm going to tend to say no on that, but that doesn't mean that he's not the most exciting guy on the field when he does touch the ball.
Yeah.
I would imagine that they want to get him heavily involved within the return game. They're going to find ways to be able to get him on screens and, reverses and end arounds, whatever they can do to get him in open space. He's going to take advantage of that, and that's the same way that Refugio uses him as well. State championship contender this year, so he comes from a team that has a background, championship quality background. So this is a good addition in state for Jimbo Fisher and the Aggies. Just love it. I mean, this is a guy that we have to shine the spotlight on because he's so special and unique.
The guy that like immediately, and this is not a fair comparison, but Devon Achane is a guy that, especially early in his career, like he obviously became like the bell cow back for them as his career went on. But early in his career, they were just finding interesting ways to get him the ball in space. Right?
Jakeem Grant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Jakeem Grant was very overlooked at times because of his size and that kind of stuff. But you saw in college what his special qualities were, and he translated that into a long NFL career. I expect the same out of Ernest Campbell.
Yeah, Ernest Campbell's that guy that, like, is going to be – it's going to be a lot of Aggies' favorite players, and they're going to be like, get him the ball more. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, because they'll go into it trying to put him in as like a little slot receiver that's just there to shake things up, and then they develop into something more.
Yeah, this guy is he's different. He is different, and he's heading to Aggie land. It's a big get for the Aggies as they haul in DCTF 4-star, I believe.
3-star. Hot 100.
Hot 100.
4-star qualities.
Yeah.
4-star qualities.
Absolutely. In Refurio, wide receiver Ernest Campbell. It's This Week in Recruiting with Greg Powers, our recruiting analyst here on Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Get involved in the conversation at #TF Today. Let's roll on to our underclassmen of the week. Our underclassmen of the week, let's go Southeast Texas to Jasper to talk about their big tight end, Keati Armstrong, who is now well
done, sir. Well done.
Thank you. The newest DCTF 4-star in the class of 2025. He was a guy that we saw at the state 7-on-7 tournament down there in College Station. He now has he has 15 scholarship offers, including Texas, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, Houston, Baylor, UTSA, Oklahoma, Oregon, etc., SMU. The secret's out on Keati Armstrong.
Right.
And at 6'5", 245 pounds, he's hard to miss.
To go a little bit deeper than that, the secret's out on Jasper.
Yeah.
Right? The secret's out on Jasper. Jasper is a team that has a lot of quality athletes. Coach Crumity there has to feel like blessed to be able to step into that situation. Like, this is a team that's really on the rise, and I guess you would classify that as Southeast Texas. That's 409.
Yeah,
right?
409.
409 area code.
Yeah.
I really like Keati's game. This is a guy who you could see at 7-on-7 from 2 fields away.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're looking across fields, like trying to see who you want to go watch, and you're like, who's that giant standing over on field 3A?
It was him and Lance Jackson from Pleasant Grove
like,
that everyone drove by, and you just instantly stopped your golf cart.
Like, who are these large children?
And they were playing on fields next to each other. You know, so that was a good combo to watch. 2 of the best. I guess Lance Jackson I would classify more as a defensive end, but he does have tight end offers as well.
Yep.
They're in a very similar mold around that 6'5", 245-pound range. Keati's a guy who I believe in as a blocker, but he's also an offensive weapon that you can put into the red zone and depend upon. That gives your quarterback a chance to, throw up a jump ball in a third down situation when things are tightened up, when the quarterback needs someone to bail him out, pick up a critical first down, pick up a touchdown in a tight game. Keati Armstrong is the guy who you want on your roster. So that 2025 tight end class, it's shaping up to be really special because you also have Keandre Johnson at Terrell, Bear Tenney, a move in at Lovejoy, and Jack Van Dorselaer at South Lake Carroll. These are 4 quality tight ends who could quite honestly take up 5% of the Hot 100 4-stars in 2025 in a year that's pretty loaded. To think that 5% of those players could be tight ends, I think that that's a statistical anomaly.
Yeah, I think that he is a guy who is his recruitment's only going to heat up from here, and I think everybody's going to be after him because I do think that Kendrick Crumity is going to try to find ways to get him involved in the offense even more this year, and also a guy who can block. You know what I mean? A guy who's strong at the point of attack. He could do it all, and
like a perfect matchup with Britton Simmons, who is like that electric, speedy wide receiver in that offense. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
They will not be shut out over the course of the season. I'll say that. If they get shut out, then I wonder if something's going
I'll double
wrong.
down on that. I'll go with you on that.
Okay, there you go. Let's round it all out with our
Week 1 jinxed.
Yeah, they're lose
14
nothing, or a scoreless draw. Let's round it all out with our recruit of the week. Our recruit of the week is Duncanville senior running back Caden Durham, who is selected to play at the 2024 Polynesian Bowl out there in Hawaii. And I know we need to have – it does feel like we need team coverage there. Agreed, Pickle?
Live show.
At the Polynesian
I'm down.
I've
Polynesian
really
Bowl?
been pitching this for the last few years. Like, I do think that you should represent Texas.
Yeah.
We're TexasFootball.com.
Absolutely.
There are Texas players that will play in the Polynesian Bowl. And I just want to, I promise this, if I were able to go, No one would produce more content than
It-
me
it-
at the Polynesian Bowl on Texas players. I would lead the charge for
It
that.
does feel like a dereliction of our duty to not be in Hawaii for the Polynesian Bowl. Caden Durham will be there. He was selected to play in the Polynesian Bowl. He is going to commit on August 25th. Alabama, LSU, Oklahoma, and A&M feel like they are the Final Four. He's a guy that is the complete running back, nearly 2,000-yard rusher for a team that won the 6A Division I state championship last year. An absolute burner. If you remember, this was back in like the spring where that District 11 6A 100-meter times went viral. He was the guy because it was like you ran a 10.75 and finished 7th in the heat. He ran a 10.33 in that heat and finished 3rd. He is a burner. He can do a little bit of everything, but he feels like a complete running back.
As far as speed goes, straight line,
Yeah.
he's one of the elite guys. I mean, we're probably talking on this edition of This Week in Recruiting about the two fastest guys in the state.
Yeah.
And Ernest Campbell and Caden Durham, quite possibly.
Yeah.
Quite possibly the two fastest guys in the state, in the 2024 class especially. I love what Caden Durham brings to the table. We always look at Duncanville as a power run-based offense.
Yes.
Right? And I remember sitting here at the beginning of last season. Who picked Duncanville to win the state championship in the preseason? Who was that?
All right, I'll give him that.
I don't recall.
I will give him that. I didn't even think about that until now.
So there was a person who picked Duncanville to win the state championship in the preseason, and that was me.
Yes, one person had the courage to pick a top 3 team to win the title.
Yes, that was me. And that was the reason why is because of speed, right?
Yeah.
Caden Durham, I felt like while they've had powerhouse running backs, they've had good running backs in the past. The element that offense possessed last year that it didn't quite have in some of the other seasons that they finished, second for the state championship was a game changer who can really stretch defenses out. And I thought Caden Durham did that. And I also think DeCorian Moore does that within their offense too. So just to be able to be the guy that leads Duncanville to the promised land after so many attempts, that to me speaks of his special qualities outside of what he does, what you're watching right now on his highlight tape, where he's able to get one small crease and dash to daylight and make defenses pay to the tune of 36 times.
Yeah. He's pretty good. I'll say that, and whoever gets him is going to be pretty happy. August 25th. Do you have
he's got a lot of ties to Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma sits really good. LSU has done a tremendous job in that recruitment as well because they were the first school to really target him in both sports, track, or at least very aggressively target him in track and football. Those are the two schools I feel like I should be watching the most closely, but he has offers from all the top schools across the country, and I think it's going to be about fit and need for Caden Durham as he looks to continue his career into college and on to the NFL after.
one guy who's always looking at the next level is Greg Powers, our recruiting director here at Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Follow him on Twitter at GPowersScout, and see his fine work at TexasFootball.com/recruiting. What else do you? Oh, Instagram. You have an Instagram, right?
Yeah, Greg Powers Recruiting on Instagram.
You're good at Instagram.
I'm trying.
I'm real bad at Instagram.
I'm trying. I'm not good. I don't
It's just
categorize
like-
myself as good at Instagram yet, but I'm trying.
But you have a son who is good at Instagram, and that
I do
helps.
have that.
Shout
that
out.
helps.
Shout out Little Powers.
Little Powers.
Yes. The Mega Powers unite. Stick around because I need you to tell us what we did this weekend because I don't remember.
Oh, it's going to be a blast.
Okay. This is Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com, TexasFootball.com/subscribe to become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. 3 magazines, including our legendary 2023 Summer Edition, a year's worth of exclusive online content at TexasFootball.com, and a year of Dave Campbell's Texan Live, where you can watch Texas Football Tonight, our Red Zone style show coming to you starting the first Friday of the football season, produced by Ashley Pickle. So make sure you check that out. TexasFootball.com/subscribe to become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. Makes a great gift as well. What's a holiday that's coming up? Anything? Get it for your friend for Benedict Cumberbatch's birthday. Go to
There you go.
TexasFootball.com/subscribe. And now a word from these goods and services.
Born and bred in Texas hits a little different, as it should. Texas loves doing business with fellow Texans. VCR Now takes its Texas roots as seriously as its many partnerships with schools and universities around the state. It's also why we're so proud to promote our brand in the pages of the Texas Bible, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and on the airwaves of Texas Football Today. Driven by producing quality broadcast video, state-of-the-art audio, and LED video scoreboards at affordable prices, VCR Now makes sure to listen to your needs in its athletic department before recommending the next best steps. Building great products is our business, and it's our focus on building meaningful, long-term partnerships with our clients that sets us apart. From our 24/7, 365-day help desk, the training lab in our hometown of Red Oak, or our sports marketing business plan that puts money back in the hands of our athletic departments we support, VCR Now is built to last. Reach out to us today at info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW. Again, that's info@vcrnow.com or by calling 855-GO-VCR-NOW.
The Gambling Gauchos are a Texas Tech podcast serving you money lines, memes, and Matador content on Twitter, YouTube, and StakeInThePlains.com.
Well, let's put it this way. They pay me off in tortillas, I'm going to shoot them right in the eye.
If you're looking for more Big 12 sports content from a host who wants ate 25 tacos in 20 minutes and another that can provide a taco bites per minute analytical breakdown of the feed, then Rob and Kyle are the hosts for you. New episodes every Sunday and Thursday on the Republic of Football podcast feed.
Back here on Texas Football Today, Greg Tepper, Greg Powers, and Ashley Pickle. And we are back from Houston. We've been in Houston for the past few days at the 2023 Texas High School Coaches Association Coaching School and Convention. My voice is back up to about 90%, which is a real plus for me. I have one job at coaching school, and that's to talk. And, then I just, sucked at that. But we are back. It's a great time as always. We were turning and burning. We were working. We were shaking hands, kissing babies, all sorts of stuff down there at coaching school, and had a great time. It's always a fun time down there at coaching school, and we appreciate all the coaches coming by. I know you got some great intel on the recruiting side. Pickle, I know you were over there in your fancy studio setup, and you guys had a who's who of people rolling through there for sit-down interviews with the Dave Campbell's Texas football crew, right?
Yeah, we had a ton of it. A lot of high school coaches that we had scheduled out for long-form content, some really impactful stories that we're excited to share with you on Texas Football Tonight, our new show. But we also shout out to Mike Craven and Ishmael Johnson and Carter Yates and the entire college football staff, because we got 9 out of the 13 Texas FBS head coaches. The only ones we were missing were the guys that just weren't able to attend coaching school, and then we didn't get Dana Holgerson because they just talked to him at Big 12 Media Days. So basically, we've gotten interviews with every single FBS coach in the past week, which is unbelievable. Other than one, Jimbo Fisher called him. Almost
everyone. And then that also doesn't count. I looked this up. Corey Hogue, our non-FBS insider, had sit-down interviews with 7 non-FBS head coaches.
Yeah, so I think we were at 16 total.
College football coaches, head coaches,
which is insane,
including Travis Bush at UTRGV, kind of updating us on what UTRGV is up to. He sat down with the head coach at McMurray. He has sat down with Colby Carthel at Stephen F. Austin. I mean, it's the amount of content we're coming back with is shocking. Not to mention our normal set of high school coaches interviews that Step and I and shout out Gavin Moritz, who hopped in the hot seat a couple times and did a couple interviews. And then was there just a recruit walking around there?
Got a recruit interview at coaching school this year. Yeah. Shout out to Andrew Marsh from Katy Jordan, who's one of the top wide receiver prospects in the class of 2025. But I got to double down and echo what you guys have said about the tremendous staff here. I mean, I don't want to pat ourselves on the back too much. We'll dive into talking about coaching school and some of the fun parts of it and all that, but I was blown away by, especially Pickle, what you guys put together on the high school set there for Texas Football Tonight, but even more so for the college content that's dropping on the site soon. Craven's interviews, I watched a couple of them, front to end while he was doing them. Amazing, and the attention to detail that Corey Hogue has in the non-FBS sector of football in the state, the respect he has from the coaches. too, talking to some of them as they were waiting in line to like talk to him or whatever. It just blows me away.
Yeah.
I mean, these are real professionals, and I'm happy to be a part
We
of the
were-
squad.
And there were college coaches. I mean, I'm talking big-time FBS college coaches that were willing to wait to be able to sit down and talk with Craven and them. Like, that's crazy. When you have Steve Sarkisian, we're like, hang on, we're finishing an interview with a high school coach, and he's like, oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ish also got some basketball interviews,
Yeah.
too. So if you're a Dave Campbell's Texas basketball fan, be tuning into that. He had a really awesome sit-down with the Texas State women's basketball coach, so it's really cool.
The one that stands out is I know Rhett Lashley. Like, you guys had just sat down with a high school
Yeah,
guy.
he
So it's like,
waited
and
over
normally you guys
20 minutes
Yeah.
outside, so that way he could come visit with the Dave Campbell staff
Yeah.
and sit down and do a full 11 or 12-minute interview. It was awesome.
Which is also a nice transition to talking about what is really the main event of coaching school, which is after the convention hall closes. I would invite everybody to go listen to the new episode of Tep and Step.
There you
Pep
go.
and Step and Roach.
And Roach, it's myself, Matt
Plus
Stepp,
Mike
and
Roach.
special
Featuring
correspondent.
Mike Roach.
Special correspondent Mike Roach of 247 Sports, where we kind of give you the behind the scenes of everything that went down after hours. I will say,
Oh Lord,
we had
That
our
terrifies
it scares me to think.
we had our social on Monday night. I will say, okay, before we get to that, two things. One, there were more than 16,000 coaches at coaching school this year. That's a record for when it's been in Houston, which is amazing. It is going to be in San Antonio next year, but I think Houston, they showed out to Houston, 16,000
That's
coaches there. Some news that did come out of it, John Snelson was elected the new THSCA president-elect from Dickinson. I love John Snelson. John Snelson's my dude. I'm happy for him. The three nominees were the three candidates were Carlos Lynn at Crowley, Brent Davis at Gregory Portland, and John Snelson at Dickinson. I talked with Carlos Lynn before, and I was like, here's the good news, man. The organization's in good hands no matter what. Those
Right.
are three quality dudes that are going to lead the organization, but John Snelson was elected. But one thing, and I don't know if you noticed this, Pickle. I know you were kind of buried in your own.
Yeah, I was tucked away in that
World.
interview room for 90% of it.
It felt like there were more women coaches this year than I've ever seen. And I know that's been a big push for the THSCA. I think, we think of it as like a football conference, right?
Right.
But I know the THSCA has made a big push of saying, no, THSCA is for all coaches.
Yeah, there
And,
was.
yeah.
We noticed that when we were walking because our room that we were in was on the exact opposite side of the convention hall. So every time that we did have to walk back and forth, we walked through the entirety of the convention hall to get back there. And Mallory and I were looking around and we're like, man, there's a lot of female coaches here, which is
Yeah.
great. And a huge major shout out to that. Not only coaches, so great job by the THSCA to push that women coaches are allowed. But the other thing is the Wives Association. If you are talking about the football side of things, the Texas High School Coaches Wives Association brought a staggering amount of wives to the
They were
clinic.
all over this thing.
It was awesome. We got to see all of our friends from the Wives Association.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool to see that kind of growth. So Monday night we went to socials on Saturday night. Well, no,
Saturday.
Sunday. We
We
ended
had
up
team dinner at El
Yeah,
Tiempo.
we did,
which
was
ruled.
really good. We ended up parking Sunday. Kind of bouncing around a few different places. Every social was jammed.
Yes.
But we ended up kind of parking at the Rice Social, and shout out to our friend Jessica Maury and Coach Mike Bloomgren and that whole staff. One story, and I'll tell it again, but on coaching, you can listen to it on Tep and Step. I did see John Kay, the new linebackers coach at Rice, former North Shore coach, and he was. Because it was at a place that was one of those free play arcades and stuff, and he was on Pac-Man, and it's going to shock nobody to tell you that John Kay's super good at Pac-Man.
Really?
Which, if you think about it, makes sense. The whole game is just recognizing and attacking patterns, which, four-time state champion head coach, I would say he's probably pretty good at that, and a guy who's just kind of a real cerebral coach. But our social, the Sunday or the Monday night, we had a social, and at Pitch 25, a huge turnout, a shock, probably the biggest turnout we've ever had at a social. I know there were multiple head football coaches from colleges there, tons of high school coaches. Our buddies from the high school ranks were there. Let's see, Jeff Traylor, Rhett Lashley, Mike Bloomgren. I know the Houston Christian staff was there. I know the McMurray staff was there. It was awesome.
And Sam Kahn.
And Sam Kahn from The Athletic.
Man, Sam deserves a shout out because
Chris Hummer, all our friends from 247.
Sam Kahn deserves a big shout out because we were juggling a couple of different interviews at once when Jeff Traylor ended his press conference, and Sam was like, hey, DCTF's going to want to talk to you. So Sam brought Jeff Traylor over to our booth so that way we could interview him. So shout out Sam Kahn.
Yeah, Sam Kahn
Just
was
a great conversationalist, too, by the way. I enjoyed it.
I got to meet Mrs. Kahn as well.
Yeah, I did.
She was at our
Awesome.
social.
And the conversation was riveting, I'll tell you that. He's always fun to talk to. He knows so much information about the sport, and it was it's just I've known him, I could think, since like 2004.
Yeah.
When we kind of first started doing this, I think in the same year. So to be able to spend any time with my friend Sam Kahn down in Houston, it's always a great time.
It's good to see our media friends down there. It's always fun. We got
and the UIL staff.
UIL
always
staff.
Good to see them.
UIL did have a press conference. We kind of made the official introduction of Ray Zapata, the new athletic director. We were
and Grace McDowell, the assistant.
Yes, Grace McDowell, the assistant athletic director. We the biggest announcement is probably that the 2023 and 2024 UIL state football championships will be at AT&T Stadium. They also kind of confirmed something we had kind of thought of and kind of hinted at, which is that there will be no Class 7A in this upcoming alignment.
Right.
They're still kind of exploring options, but 2024, the alignment, they do not anticipate any sort of major overhauls. The other thing that I thought was so interesting, the other staff, nobody wins coaching school, right? But there are people you see all over the place, like constantly. Here were the people that I saw all over the place. The Rice staff was everywhere. They were everywhere. Mm-hmm. Joey McGuire was everywhere. Jeff Traylor was everywhere. And the Nebraska staff was everywhere.
The Nebraska staff was out in full force.
They were. Dr. Susan Elza was there. Our friend now up there as the director of player personnel, I believe.
Bob Wager was there.
Bob Wager was there. Matt Rule, I believe.
Garrett
McGuire was there. Matt Rule, I believe, flew in from vacation to come and speak at THSCA. Like, he showed up in like a Hawaiian shirt, which rocks because dudes rock. But it was really interesting.
That was my one regret.
What?
My one regret of coaching school was that I couldn't make it to Matt Rule's press conference because it was kind of like an impromptu.
Yeah.
I think they worked it in.
Yeah.
Right. We were represented. Craven was able to go, but I didn't get a chance to listen to Matt Rule speak because they've done a tremendous job recruiting the Lone Star State since they've
they have
at Nebraska.
Yeah.
And I think as it moves forward, Texas is going to be a huge priority for the future of the success at Nebraska, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
know
think
what you mean.
Came out just right.
I know what you're saying.
Whatever.
I get it. But it was a fun time down there. There's plenty of stories. Like I said, go listen to Tep and Step. You get all the nitty gritty.
I really want to say thank you to all the coaches that came up and talked about Texas football tonight too. We obviously our brand new. It's going to be our brand. If you didn't hear it last week, we're starting our own Friday night show here at on Dave Campbell's Texan Live. We're going to stream for free. It'll basically be a red zone channel for Texas high school football, and we announced it. Mallory and I did on Women Talking Football the Friday before we left for coaching school, and everybody that came up to us, and everybody is like literally everybody, to say like that. Everyone kept saying thank you. We're so excited, and that meant the absolute world to not just Mallory and I, but everybody at Texan Live, everybody at Dave Campbell's. So keep the buzz going, keep sharing it with everybody. But that meant the world to me that people kept coming up and saying congrats.
People are fired up for that thing.
Yeah,
they are. They would not like. So many people came up and be like, "So this Friday night show, huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, they were like, that seems awesome.
We had a lot of college coaches say how excited they were for it.
I had to start explaining it as boosted red zone.
Like,
that's how I was trying to explain it. Because it's going to be red zone, but it is going to be boosted, too.
Yeah.
There's some other things that are going to be going on.
There will be analysis. There will be pre-produced stuff, like feature stories, all of that. But, thank you to everybody genuinely who came up and said that they were excited. That made it more than worth the amount of work that we've already and will be putting into this thing.
It was the talk of coaching school. We brought 600 magazines, and they were gone by 10 o'clock Monday. Mm-hmm. So that's cool. We just ran out of magazines like immediately. Poor China, our office manager, was trying so hard to just she was just handing out magazines left and right. But it was a great time down there. Like I said, you can get all the nitty-gritty on the new episode of Tep and Step with Mike Roach, which details all of our adventures at various socials. I do know we were all over the place. We did find out, and we can confirm this. Houston, not a dry city.
No.
We found this out. Harris County, not a dry county. We confirmed. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't.
You didn't? Mm-mm. Yeah, you turned in early most nights.
Yep, that's me.
That's you.
In bed by 9 p.m. every
Same.
night, like a little angel.
Same.
I actually was, because I'm washed.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun down there. We appreciate the THSCA having us. Of course, they don't have to let us in, but we appreciate them.
And to all our friends that
Yes.
invited us to these
Oh my
socials
gosh.
and took time to talk with us
Yes.
and catch up. I mean, I'd be here sitting in this seat for 10 minutes if I tried to recap like everyone who
It was.
I spoke with and had great conversations with.
is
It's just
that-
a pretty good time.
Step made the point that he was like, I think I've dapped up more people in the last 24 hours than I will for the remainder
End
of the year
year.
combined. Like, I'm like,
I
yeah,
agree with
probably.
Well, and we also, Aaron Hardigan joined us as part of the Dave Campbell
Yeah.
staff this weekend to help us with our big-time interviews, which we really appreciate everything that she did. But we were talking about it, too. It's gotten to the point, and I think maybe because I've just been here a little bit longer now, it feels like a massive family reunion when we go down there.
It does.
Like that, it's legitimately feel everyone's happy to see each other. It's the perfect amount of time. It's a massive family reunion is
Yeah,
what it
we
feels like.
were. We're all, it's always fun to be down there because it's, you're right. It's our friends. And I don't know. For me, this is me, if I can get in my feels for a moment. Like, I'm just really proud of what we've built at Dave Campbell's and what we're building here at Dave Campbell's. And every time we go there, it just it reinforces that, yeah, we're correct to be proud because people know us and appreciate us and the kind words that people say about what we do is makes it all worth it. It really
I agree with that 100%, man. It really is cool.
Yeah.
It makes me feel I'm just thankful.
Yeah.
It makes me feel so thankful to be a part of it and to be able to
Yeah.
know that you're able to touch some people's lives and help their careers and help student athletes find a home at the next level. For me personally, that's cool. And it's only one day after coaching school has ended, but there was a good idea floated out before coaching school started that if we start to talk about it now for next year, could we have some involvement or could we pull off a barbecue competition at coaching school by coaches? Could we make this happen?
Because
is this something that we
the issue is going to be people want to bring their rig. Do you know what I mean?
That's not the issue.
That's
the,
up to them
the
to
issue
find
is
the rig.
timing.
Yeah.
Timing.
The issue is timing.
It'd have to be Saturday night.
Yes, it would
But
need
then
to be.
but then I don't want to counter program the banquet.
Well,
Yeah.
let's just
You know
say
what I mean?
what?
Hall of
Here's
Honor
a time.
banquet.
Here's a time to turn in the meat, right? Here's a time that. Here's a time.
Powers
that
is
we're
going to judge every single piece.
Here's a time that we're eating.
Mm-hmm.
Turn the meat in by this time. How you get it there is up to you.
Because there's a lot of people talking a lot of mess.
Let's not organize the actual
About their
cooking.
barbecue.
Let's organize the eating and celebrating.
Yeah.
That's what I think we could. That's how I think we could pull it off. But it's an idea. It's out there, and I think it's a good idea. It wasn't my idea. It was not my idea. It was the coaches were talking about who had the best barbecue on social media.
Yeah.
And
They
that's where this
chirp.
idea kind of started. But I think that they may need some help to pull it all together.
Well, and that gets into the college rank now with guys like Chris Gilbert moving on up
They'll
to the college
and,
Right.
and
world.
let me tell you, they'll chat with you about it. They're they'll chirp at you and be like, "Oh no, your ribs don't got anything on mine." So yeah, maybe we need to pull that off. Anyway,
That's a thought.
fun weekend down there in Houston. We appreciate all of our friends come up and saying hi. Let's go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts.
I forgot that we were doing that.
That's going to do it for us. Thanks
Yeah.
for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. For Ashley Pickle and Greg Powers, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please come get your Player of the Year trophy. It's somewhere.
It's by Powers.
We'll see you tomorrow on Texas Football Today.